Three-way calls, Tom Sappington, my very favorite part of this whole business. There's not another part of this business I love more, except watching the people that are on your team and others experience success. I love that too. But how do you get there? Well, for me, it's the three-way call. I think that this is the part of the business that makes the most sense for me. That is like, if you're going to help somebody, this is where you want to really make sure that they're really good. Contacting, inviting, really, the list, awesome. Following up, just finding out if there's an interest, great. But man, when you get to the three-way call, magic happens. So this is where I love to live, okay? So I hope I'm not too excited about this to explain it to where you can understand it, because it's really important, but I think I can do a pretty good job. Ready? First off, I call back. Let's say that somebody was out of town and they're a long distance and I didn't really have a chance to, I'm not going to drive all the way to them and sit down for an hour and explain it. See, the key is, what I'm looking to do is just follow up with them, and then once I follow up with them, or let's say that I caught Bill gets started in the business. Now he talks to his friend Ted. Ted says, hey, I'm really interested. I saw something. I'm leaning in versus leaning out. I'm over a 5. It made sense to me. I like the pictures. I think driving a Lexus would be cool. I'm just looking for something to do on the side. I really need flexibility. I want that bass boat. Doesn't matter. So then you say, okay. So then Bill calls me and goes, hey, Tom, I got a guy named Ted. He's interested in the business. He's about a 6 right now, a 7. He's interested. He's excited. He doesn't know what he's got some questions. I said, great, let me talk to him, okay? And then I said, where's he at? And he goes, Albuquerque. Do you know where the meeting is in Albuquerque? He goes, yeah. And he gives me the address of where it's being held. I said, okay, great. So I said, hey, Bill, Tom, really nice to meet you. Now, what's really important is that when Bill introduces me to Ted, that he doesn't put me on the phone with Ted and then say how big of a deal I am, or how I'm going to close him, or that I'm making $1 million a day in this business. None of that's relative. You know what's relative? The only edification I really would like Bill to tell Ted is that Bill says, hey, he's a really nice guy, he's having the time of his life, and he has a great perspective on this business. I think you'll enjoy it. But I don't even use the word like he or she, or Tom or Bill or John, or if I'm not going to tell my sponsor's name or whoever's working with me, I just say they and keep it generic. I don't talk about guys or gals. Because I might try to get one of my sponsors on the phone, but they might be busy. Their phone might be out of cell reach. They might have just run out of battery. Who knows in the world of electronics? But I do want that third-party endorsement. So if I say, hey, I want you to talk to John, and then Nancy gets on the phone, he's like, well, who's Nancy? I thought you were telling me how cool a guy John is. See, so I just say, hey, I'm working with some people, they're helping me, they're having a time of their life, and they've got all the facts on this, but more importantly, they got a great perspective. I think you're going to enjoy it. Hold on. Now, I don't ask for permission, because when I called them back, I already said, did I catch you at a good time, like we had talked about? And they go, yeah. So, you see what I'm saying? So once that third party gets me on the phone, my only responsibility is build a rapport, find out their interest, double check a few things, and it goes like this. Hey Ted, man, it's really cool to meet you. Let me ask you, how do you know Bill? Well, we went to school together. We've known each other for years. I live in an adjoining city, but he's a really nice guy. No kidding. So what do you do professionally, Bill? Or Ted? And he goes, well, actually, Tom, I'm a truck driver, and I've been a truck driver my whole life. Since I turned 18, I got right into the industry, and it was really good. That's awesome. Now, do you come from a big family, or do you come from, do you got a family of your own? Actually, I had 2 brothers and a sister, and I've got 2 boys and a daughter, so it's pretty weird. Oh, that's really interesting. That's really cool. Let me ask you this. I guess Bill got you some information about our business and our model. Did I get that right? He showed you something from our company? Yes, he did. I went to a website. I saw a couple videos. They really made a lot of sense to me. I'm not exactly sure everything it's involved, but I mean, it looks like it. Man, if those pictures work. Oh, so you saw the pictures. So that's what really stuck out to you, the pictures that piqued your interest? You know what? That and then the money. It seems to me like there's a lot of money to be made here. Let me ask you, Ted, do you think that there's an opportunity here for you? Yeah, there could be. Well, I guess like on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you're totally not interested, 10, don't say anything else. Let's just get started right now. Where do you find yourself? Well, honestly, I'm about a 7. I can understand that. Let me ask you, is there, what's keeping you from getting started right now? Maybe a couple, what do you got? And then I let them say, well, it's a startup cost. It's the, I don't know, I don't know anybody else in the area, either way, how long to get the return? And I just simply say, man, those are all great questions. I said, now, do you mind if I share a little bit about myself? He goes, no. I said, well, I'm married, got 4 boys. I'm excited about life. I wasn't really hungry when I saw this business, but what I did notice was that people that were involved in this business, their income wasn't completely tied to what they were doing. In other words, what I do now, or what I did before I got started with this company, if I quit working, I quit getting paid. Does that make sense? Yeah, it makes sense to me. It's the way it works for me. Well, what I saw was that if something happened to me, who's going to take care of my family? And that was a little bit scary for me. So I was really interested in making a go of this. And I got started working with the business, and after a short period of time, I found myself, I basically ponied up a few bucks to get started. I got an iPad, the company's paying me for a Lexus, so I get my money back, and now I get my money back every single month in the form of a car. It's crazy. But what's really, really weird is this. 6 months after working this business, I actually fell and I got a little cut on my foot on a hiking trip. And it wasn't even required stitches or anything, but you know how you get some of those bad deals, like the bugs that are out there that you read about on TV or see or hear? Well, that happened to me. And for the next 6 months, I used that money that the company was still sending me, even though I wasn't working anymore. 6 months of part-time activity, it actually paid for electric, it paid for cable, it paid for telephone, it paid for food on the table, it paid for lots and lots of bandages. And so the income kept coming in. And it really took the pressure off. Even though my regular income had stopped, this company, of only 6 months part-time activity, it continued to pay me. Now, Bill, is there anything else you need to hear or see before you get started? Actually, Tom, I think I'm ready. See, you can take somebody from a 7 to a 10 just by sharing your story. All those questions they had, they were only breaks to say, hey, I'm not ready because I don't have enough validation, I don't believe yet. You tell your story, the expert does, and everybody's got a story. Mine's happens to be that one, but I've got a lot of friends, that have, I replaced my regular income in a year. I've made $1,500 last month. Those stories make a difference, and they're real, and they're authentic, and they're transparent. They show our vulnerabilities. They show that we're frail. They show that we need others to succeed. But it also shows that this business will provide to them what they're looking for. It gives them belief. Once people believe, the activity follows. Once the activity begins, the results happen. As results happen, the belief is increased. More activity, better results. It's just a crazy nuclear reactor of success in this business. It's taken somebody from, I don't really believe it could happen to me, to, well, maybe it could, or I think it might. Let me give it a try. Wow, this works. Oh my gosh, I'm really going to win. There's no way I can fail. And that path starts at the 3-way call. Okay? Everybody can do it. Make sure you do it a lot.